Your chest pounds, a gray fog washes over your eyes, and you grab the heavy wooden dresser just to stay upright. You take a slow breath, wait for the room to stop spinning, and quietly tell yourself, I just stood up too fast. Or, well, I guess this is just what turning 72 feels like. If this scenario sounds familiar, stop making excuses for your body. These jarring morning spells are not a mandatory tax on aging. They are flashing red sirens from your cardiovascular system. The first hour after you open your eyes is undeniably the most dangerous window for your heart. As you shift from the deep paralysis of sleep to standing on 2 feet, your heart revs its engine and your blood vessels automatically clamp down to pump blood upward to your brain. If your system is already under pressure, too many of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond fall for a dangerous medical illusion. You check your blood pressure at 3:00 p.m. while watching television. See a perfect 120/80 on the monitor and think you are completely safe. But hypertension does not punch a clock. Today, we are meticulously tearing down the 4 hidden traps that are secretly sabotaging your morning blood pressure. We are looking directly at your breakfast plate, your bathroom cabinet, and your pillows. Let's expose trap number 1. When your doctor hands you a hypertension pamphlet, your first instinct is to toss the salt shaker in the trash. You bravely suffer through bland oatmeal, skip the breakfast sausages, and think you are doing everything perfectly right for your heart. But the real danger isn't the salt you can see, it's the sodium you can't. The CDC reports that a massive 70% of the sodium Americans consume is preloaded into packaged and restaurant foods. When an avalanche of stealthy sodium hits your bloodstream, your body panics and desperately hoards water to dilute it. This extra fluid pumps up your total blood volume, forcing your aging heart to forcefully shove that heavy liquid against your fragile artery walls every single morning. Imagine your typical Tuesday lunch, a warm bowl of low-fat canned vegetable soup and a scoop of seemingly harmless cottage cheese. Yet, that single, innocent lunch can ambush your circulatory system with over 500 milligrams of sodium, more than your entire recommended limit for the whole day. By Wednesday morning, your blood pressure is hitting the roof, and you are left completely bewildered. You do not have to live on steamed broccoli and despair. You simply need to outsmart the grocery store. Instead of relying on heavily preserved canned soups or processed deli meats, take time on a Sunday to slow cook a batch of fresh tomatoes, garlic, and onions. Use robust spices like smoked paprika, ground cumin, and fresh cilantro spices that deliver a massive punch of flavor and contain natural antioxidants that actually help your blood vessels dilate. Always flip the package around in the aisle if it has more than 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. Put it right back on the shelf. Let us walk out of the kitchen and into your bathroom. For anyone navigating life over the age of 65, mornings often come with a chorus of creaky joints. You wake up with a stiff lower back or knees that flat out refuse to bend. Especially when the bitter winter chill seeps through the window panes, the instant, deeply ingrained habit is to pop a couple of over-the-counter ibuprofen or naproxen pills because they are sold everywhere from corner gas stations to grocery stores. We treat non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, as if they are entirely harmless. But if you are managing high blood pressure, these little coated pills are a chemical ambush waiting to happen. NSAIDs work fundamentally by suppressing specific chemicals in your body called prostaglandins, which cause inflammation and pain. However, these exact same chemicals have a second vital job. They keep your blood vessels relaxed and help your kidneys effectively filter out excess fluid When you chemically block them to stop your knee from aching, your blood vessels violently constrict and your kidneys stubbornly retain water. The pressure inside your circulatory system immediately skyrockets. Relying on these pills every single morning keeps your heart in a state of relentless, exhausting strain. But you shouldn't have to suffer through the stiffness, either a safer approach. Instead of blindly reaching for the medicine cabinet, reach for gentle movement and penetrating heat. Before you even throw off the heavy blankets, do 3 minutes of gentle bed stretches. Bring your knees to your chest one at a time and gently twist your lower back from side to side. Then, head straight to the shower and let hot water run over your stiff shoulders for 5 minutes. The heat naturally expands your blood vessels, easing your muscular pain while actually lowering your blood pressure at the same time. Now, let's look at your mattress. An incredibly common myth echoes through retirement communities across the country. Seniors just don't need as much sleep. And waking up at 3:00 a.m. is just a normal part of life. Dismissing chronically fragmented sleep is a critical error that actively destroys your cardiovascular system. When you finally slip into the stages of deep sleep, the soft tissues and muscles in the back of your throat naturally relax. For millions of older adults, especially those carrying just a little bit of extra weight around the collar, these muscles relax so much that they completely collapse, physically blocking the airway. This is obstructive sleep apnea. You literally stop breathing in your sleep. Even if it only lasts for 10 to 15 seconds, your primitive brain registers a terrifying drop in oxygen. Thinking you are suffocating, the brain aggressively hits the panic button, flooding your resting body with a massive surge of adrenaline and cortisol to shock you awake just enough so you can gasp for air. Imagine the brutal physiological toll this takes. Your resting heart rate violently accelerates and your arteries clamp down tight. Now, imagine your body enduring this traumatic fight or flight response 30 or 40 times an hour. By the time the sun finally comes up, your blood pressure is dangerously elevated and your heart is thoroughly exhausted. If your spouse constantly complains about your earth-shattering snoring, or if you routinely wake up with a painfully dry mouth, a throbbing morning headache, and a feeling of profound exhaustion, your body is waving a massive red flag. Do not brush this off as a mere symptom of aging. Talk to your primary care doctor immediately about scheduling a proper sleep study. In the meantime, try sleeping slightly elevated on a foam wedge pillow. Finally, we reach a trap that catches almost everyone completely off guard: chronic, silent dehydration. As we cross the threshold into our late 60s and 70s, a profound physiological shift occurs deep within the brain. You can wake up severely depleted of essential fluids and not feel the slightest urge to take a drink. Most folks wake up through a strong long. When you are chronically dehydrated, your total blood volume drops. To ensure enough oxygen still reaches your brain and vital organs, your body forcefully constricts your blood vessels to maintain pressure. Even worse, your blood physically changes. Lacking sufficient water, it becomes thick, sticky, and highly viscous, like trying to pump heavy maple syrup through a delicate garden hose. Your heart has to push with immense, dangerous force just to keep it moving. Adding a highly caffeinated, diuretic cup of coffee to this bone-dry system is exactly like throwing gasoline on a fire. The fix is remarkably simple, but it requires strict daily discipline. The morning ritual: the moment you wake up, before the coffee maker is ever turned on, drink 1 large 8-ounce glass of room temperature filtered water, the enhancement squeeze, a fresh wedge of lemon into it, and add a tiny microscopic pinch of high-quality sea salt. The lemon provides essential potassium, and the trace minerals in the salt help your aging cells absorb the hydration instantly. This single, non-negotiable daily habit rapidly thins your morning blood, dramatically eases the heavy burden on your tired heart, and stops that dizzy, spinning sensation dead in its tracks. Your body never orchestrates an internal panic without a very solid physical reason: a pounding chest, a flushed red face, and a terrifying dizzy spell at 7:00 a.m. are not signs that you are just getting old and need to accept it. They are urgent biological telegrams begging you to re-examine the hidden sodium in your pantry, the painkillers in your cabinet, the quality of your breathing at night, and the water you are failing to drink. Successfully managing hypertension in your golden years is rarely about finding a magic prescription pill. It is the powerful, cumulative result of mindful, daily choices and a willingness to listen to your body. You do not need to aggressively overhaul your entire existence by tomorrow. Pick just one of these minor adjustments, perhaps committing to that glass of warm lemon water first thing, and practice it relentlessly. Disclaimer: the information provided today is strictly for educational purposes and should never replace the advice of a qualified healthcare professional. Always consult your dedicated doctor before modifying your diet, medication, or exercise routine. Stay vigilant. Protect your heart fiercely, and may every single morning you wake up feel significantly stronger, clearer, and healthier than the last